I'm going to be changing out the bolts on the engine on my Scout Bobber 20. They come with stainless steel bolts, which are fine, but what I want to do is black them out. I know a lot of you are probably wondering where I got the blackout bolts, because the company that used to make them doesn't make them anymore, and they're a little hard to get. So what I'm going to do is I will put some information in the description of where I got it. I'm going to start off over here, and this is going to be the primary cover. It's going to be 5mm Allen, so I'll be using a socket, and they fit right like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bolt out, and then I've got all the bolts that came with it, and I'm going to match one up. So I've got engine cover left, I think that's the other side. Primary cover, it's labeled here. Thermostat, sprocket cover, badge right, left, and then clutch cover. All right, so let me take one of these off, and we'll take a look at what it looks like. All right, so I'm going to take this bolt and match it up to one I have here. This one here looks pretty close to it, and you can see it's got the black head on it. So I think that's our prime suspect. These other ones for the primary cover, they have threads that go all the way up to the head, and these don't, which is why I'm going to use these. All right, so it's in there. That's what it's going to look like. I'm going to set my torque wrench up, and the torque's setting here on these bolts around this, and these three here are going to be 9 foot-pounds. So let me get my torque wrench set up. I'll torque that down, and then we'll fast forward through putting the rest of these in. All right, so it's time to get the torque settings around this. I've got it set to 9 foot-pounds. All right, that's 9 foot-pounds. All right, I'll do the rest of these. You take them off one at a time. Obviously, you don't want to take them all out, although that may seem more efficient. You're going to have parts and stuff leaking out. So take one at a time out, replace it with a bolt that looks just like it, and then torque it down to the right spec. Like I said, I'm going to do these and these three here to 9 foot-pounds, and join you back in a second. All right, as I get around here, down here where the stock exhaust starts to bend around, took this bolt out, and it looks a little bit different. Looks like this. So I match it up with one that looks the same, but just with black, and that's what I'm going to replace that one with. These three bolts over here, again, look to be this style, so I'm putting those in there in its place, which match. Putting a little thread locker on them as well, because it looks like they've got some on it. I just don't want to lose the bolts. All right, so one thing to note, this is a 2020. 2021, I believe, is when they changed the clutch cover on these, so they don't have the bolts that go all the way around. They've got fewer bolts here, just to keep that in mind. So yours may not look like this, depending on the year. So we've got all those done. Next, I'm going to hit these here. We're going to do the same process. I'm going to identify which bolts they are. I'm going to pull them out and then match them up and replace them. All right, next up is the primary cover, which is here. So we're going to replace all of these around here. This is also 9 foot-pounds. So here's what the bolt looks like, and here's what the replacement's going to look like. Just a black head, and I'm going to put a little bit of Loctite on these because they are, look like they've got Loctite on them when I take them out. All right. All right, so some of the bolts down here you're not going to be able to see as easy. There's one behind this header pipe that I'm going to try to get to, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to. One down here, and then there's some that are underneath here. I would have to take the exhaust off to get them. I'm going to work my way around and get all the ones that I can that are visible and easy to get. Keep the bolts. If I ever do swap out my exhaust, then I'll address them at that time. I'm going to continue the process on this side, removing the bolts and replacing them as we go around. All right, again, take these out, match this one up with that one, and I'm going to put a little Loctite on it and put it back in. And I'll just do this all the way around the bike. And again, I'm torquing these down to 9 foot-pounds. This bolt right here is actually a little bit different than the other ones. So I'm going to match it up again. It's just a shorter threads go all the way to the head. This one I actually had to get off with an Allen wrench. So I'm going to put it back in with an Allen wrench and try to match up the torque specs as best I can. 9 foot-pounds is not much. So, all right, we'll continue on. Okay, so I've got all of these done. I've got the sprocket cover and all this side of the engine. There's 2 bolts down here. I'm going to drop down to a 4mm Allen for those. So let me get those swapped out. All right, there's that side of the engine finished. Looks pretty good. All right, so I got everything done. All the engine bolts are finished. Like any good project, I've got some leftover bolts. Actually, I think that's because this this kit is actually for a Scout, which has a couple different things in the Scout bobber. One of them is the thermostat cover. Is got different bolts, so I've got those that I didn't use because the bobber already has them blacked out. There's some bolts underneath my exhaust that I couldn't get to. I'm keeping those in case I ever switch the exhaust out, then I can get to the bolts at that point. So I've got everything done. It's winter, well, it's spring in Indiana. Okay, so this is the end of March and we had snow today, so the bike's not going anywhere right now. As soon as we have good weather, I'll get the bike out actually in the sunshine, get some good pictures of it, show you what they are. So that'll be at the end of this video right now. You'll be seeing it in real time. I'm telling you that I'm going to do it in a little bit. Shout out to Tearing Up the Miles, who without him I wouldn't have even gotten these bolts because he sent them all the way from Germany for me. So I'll put his Instagram down here. You guys can check him out. Yeah, that's it. So like and subscribe. Got some more changes coming for this bike this year. So exciting to see the changes in it. Thanks a lot for watching. See you next time. Bye.